Yo guys, so today I'm going to do something a little bit different because I've been asked a few times, like, hey, when you do legend tripping stuff, when you go out and you're taking a camera or you're on the motorcycle or you're in the car, or what is it that you're using? Today I'm going to review a couple, not really review, more user review about what I use when I go on a motorcycle or when I go in my truck. To do some of these urban legends or overnight. I mean, my life is travel. Travel and what I put in bags is like a big deal to me. There is a guy, a friend of mine named Reeves, who's a YouTuber that is the best at reviewing bags. I'll put a link to him. You should go check out his stuff if you're super into bags. But I'm going to do like an overall thing. So let's just jump into it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to start with, and I covered it a little bit in the Table 29 video, is Shimoda Designs. They make some really cool stuff. I have two of their bags. I'm going to show you the first one. Bam! This guy here is their roller. So essentially, you know, this pulls out and you can roll it on an airport. It is, you can check this in. Push that, it goes down. Like I said, this is going to be a user review more than like this technical, like what all the materials are and stuff like that. I'm not going to get too into that stuff. But what I like about this bag is that it's pretty outdoorsy. So, you know, I can throw this one in the back of the truck, put all my stuff in here that I need for the day. As far as camera gear. And by the way, this, you know, I like because this expands as well too. The thing I like about this is that it's like outdoorsy chic. All right. So it's got these tough materials, but it's got like this little like pseudo leather zipper pulls. It's fairly water resistant as far as I can tell. And this is like a doctor bag style. So you pop it open, and when it pops open or pops closed, it's flat. So if all your gear's sitting right here, it doesn't move. You can sit it up like this and stuff doesn't fall out of it. So the heart of this system, the thing that's cool is that this goes between all their different bags, the 30, 40 liter, this bag, they all are interchangeable and you can stack them different ways. So like for instance, I carry the S1H camera and I use that in this slot. It's a fairly heavy camera for its size. I mean, compared to other cinema cameras, it's light, but, and I can take this out and put it in my backpack, which is what I did on the Table 29 thing. So I'll show you that. This guy, this is totally light. I mean, this is like nothing. It's so light. Compatible colors. Everything that goes in here will go in here. And, you know, if you're going through an airport and you already have a backpack, this is awesome. If you are only carrying one thing, then this is awesome. Or if you're going backpacking, like I did for Table 29, for example, this is great. So it just depends on what your needs are. I have both. And I can kind of show you really quickly without getting into a huge to-do. But you unzip this guy. It zips like this. Essentially, you take these guys out and you just stick them in here. Kind of squeeze it in there. And then you do the same thing with the larger one. I'm not going to sit here and do all of it and bore you on camera. But basically you do that. You can also make it where you can access it from the side, like I said. This is adjustable. This is ridiculously comfortable. I mean, I had it on all day, and I did like, I think we clocked it at like 7 miles of hiking or something, and it was extremely comfortable. I love this for outdoors stuff. I love this for going through airports or just to throw it in my truck. But conversely, I can throw this in my truck too. I mean, honestly, and carry it. But I like this. I like this for that purpose when I'm in a four-wheel vehicle. But I don't really carry my S1H too much on the motorcycle because it is a big camera. This thing is so comfortable. It's amazing. This I would not take on a motorcycle. But I would take this in my pickup truck. I'd take this in my car. I'd take it on a flight. This is especially good for my S1H or any of my bigger cameras. Anyway, let me move on to another bag that I use when I use my GH5, which is the little brother to the S1H. All right, so another bag that I think is awesome for camera work and for everyday carry is Boundary Supply. This is a system, literally. And I went to their headquarters in Utah, and I'm going to provide a link for that because it was when I went to the Ducati riding experience. And these guys are awesome. They really care about what they're doing. They have a very specific way of using their buckles. But this is what's cool about this bag. You can almost like fillet this open, which is I love, because you can really, when you get to where you're going, you can really open this guy up. And what you can put in there is you can take this strap off of here. Okay, I'm going to pull this strap quick. This is similar to what I showed you with the Shimoda, but it's smaller, and you can configure this any way you want. And you zip this guy up, you put your camera gear in here, and then literally you're able to, a person is able to just drop this in like so, loaded with your camera gear, and then you zip it up, you're good to go. And it's kind of like a roll top. And there's still some room in here. You can actually put, I think, a 15-inch laptop in there. And the good thing about this is that, like, let's say, you know, you're traveling and you go to a hotel, you want to go out for the night. You don't want to take your camera gear, right? And a dedicated bag is going to do that. You just pull this guy out, keep it in your room, and then you have this whole bag to just go run around. And that is freedom. There's also a place here on the bottom for a tripod. So you can put a tripod here, or if you're out running around, you could wrap a jacket up and stick it here if it gets hot, or keep it for when it gets cold. This is not their only model. They have a bunch of them. Great stuff. A little bit in the heavy side, but very heavy duty. I mean, you can just throw this thing around. That is just one example of Boundary. And by the way, this insert, if you watched any of my earlier videos, you can drop this straight into the saddlebag of an Indian Roadmaster. Perfectly fits. It looks like it was designed for it. It's crazy. So what's cool about this, the other thing that I want to mention about this is, and I love to do this too because sometimes it's just nice and lightweight. Let's say you only have this insert in that bag. You can go ahead and pop this guy on. Sorry, backwards. Matches, as you can tell. And so this is a bag, right? So now this becomes a bag. And let's say you have your backpack on, this backpack with your stuff, and then you got this on where you're walking around and you see something, you can keep this open. You can reach in here, pull your camera out, bang, get the shot. You see a ghost? Pull it out. This is also compatible with some of their other bags. Awesomeness. There you go. And this fits some of their other model bags too. Moving on. Peak design. So one company that took the industry by storm was Peak Design, and for very good reasons. This particular bag, which is their everyday carry backpack, also doubles as everyday carry or a camera bag, and I freaking love this thing. The reason I love it is because of how it opens. It opens like this on each side, and you have your camera in there. You have your lenses. If you want to set something on top, and I'll get into this a little more, you can flip these guys over and it becomes a shelf. And like I said, this is on both sides. So if you're left-handed, it doesn't matter. This opens up on this side as well. Let's say you keep your lens on this side, and you can do it that way. So you can also let me say this. You can open this up this way. It's got a really cool little pull draw thing. You pull this, it opens up here, and then you can pull out one of their other bags, like their tech bag, so you can keep all your cords. And by the way, this is that YK or whatever it is zipper with a rubber thing so it doesn't get wet. And you can keep all your tech stuff in a bag like this. This is where you can keep your cords, any extra little things. I want to get more of these. I want like 4 of them. I mean, because I love them. Plus you can hook a cable up to this. You could actually put a little camera in here if you wanted to and hang it. You could actually hang this off the bag somehow. I just love these little tech bags. They do a really great job with it. So in here I have extra lens. I'm not going to get into everything I have in here right now, but this is where I keep like my Canon EOS R. I love to throw this camera in here. This is a nice light setup. I can pretty much go all day with this guy without a big deal. It's got a handle on this side, handle on top, a handle on this side. No matter how you're grabbing it, you're good to go. It's got magnetic straps so that these aren't flopping all over the place. It doesn't have a belt, but you can actually attach a belt portion to this if you want to somehow, I believe. It has a spot here for your keys. They have this little system where you can attach camera straps, and it's the same kind of thing. It's this little tag. You can put it on keys, you can put it on anything, and you can clip it to this, and there you go. It's part of their little ecosystem. I think it's pretty darn cool. This is fairly adjustable. You can adjust it with this. If you want it out of the way, you can just clip this here like this. And again, this is magnetic and it doesn't flop around. This will accommodate a laptop. I think up to a 15-inch. I haven't tried to put my 16 in here. I have the new 16. I broke down and got that. There's all kinds of little pockets. I could talk all day about all the different bags that Peak Design has, but I will say that this is probably one of their best bags in terms of their size. There's a smaller one, but I think this size to me hits a sweet spot. And you can make this where it really clamps down, but you can just go like this and it's magnetic and it keeps stuff from falling out if you go like that. So they've thought about this bag a lot. They've really put a lot of thought into this, and they're just killing it. It's thick. It's a little bit heavy like the Boundary. It's not as light as the Shimoda. If you're going to walk all day and hike, I think the Shimoda is better. I can strap this right on the carry rack on my motorcycle, and then when I get there, I can pull it out and you go walk around. So this works great for on the bike, but it's a little bit smaller, so I could fit my S1H in there, but it would be heavy. Again, sometimes I put the GH5 in here, sometimes I put my Canon in here. I have a couple of cameras, and I'll get into why I have a couple of cameras in just a second. This thing just kills it. Everything that they make is pretty badass. The other thing that they do that is really cool, I think I mentioned it in brief, is this little system they have. What it does it's this little system, and all you do is just pop it on there, and then there's your strap on that side, and then you can do the same thing on this side. So anything that you put these little tabs on, you can use within the ecosystem, including that this little strap I showed you earlier. Okay, I have my keys on. I don't have my keys out here right now to show you, and they have smaller bags, they have over-the-shoulder bags, and all of it's compatible. That's the thing that's cool. The thing that isn't so great is that it's not modular. It doesn't pull the whole, there's not an insert that you can take out. So that's the downside of this bag, but like I said, it's more of a dedicated camera bag. I have two of them. And well, I use one for everyday carry, and I use one for camera stuff. And you know, you sit there and you think, well, if you're going to use it for everyday carry, you know, you wouldn't want all these slots in here, but it is. You can like throw your water in there. You can have a tech bag with, you know, like your cables for like your phone and your chargers. You can throw that in there. And that's what I do. And I use it. I used it at Disney. I carried it all day, and I didn't really get tired. It was a little, like I said, a little bit heavy, but I didn't have it that weighed down. And it rained, and nothing got wet inside. I don't know that it's 100% waterproof, but it's water resistant. And the camera drops in there like so easy. Bam, you know, you're good to go. This is the Peak Design everyday carry backpack. I think it's just freaking awesome. I really like this bag for a lot of applications. Okay, so now let's get into some interesting gear that I think is more specialized. We know about tripods, we know about basic stuff, but here's a pretty cool invention by a company called Platypod, and they have two different models. One is very small and easy to carry, and one is a little bit bigger, but both of them, you sit there and you look at it, you go, okay, these are just like flat metal plates. Like, why would I spend money on this? But let me tell you, this thing is really cool. Let's start with the big one, okay? So this big guy, it doesn't come with a ball head or any way to mount the camera, okay? It's just this platform. So I got this one, and I like it. It's solid, but I kind of like anything with a Swiss Arca. It makes it easier because guess what? My Peak Design Swiss Arca too. So this is a little bit different, but I'm not going to complain about that. So what this guy does is you can take these out, and let's say you're on an uneven, well, let's start with an even surface. You go ahead, you put these in, or a smooth surface that you don't want to mess up. And you got your little camera that you can mount at different angles that you didn't think you could ever mount it at, okay? So let's say you're on a rock or you're in some kind of a dirt thing. You would go ahead and reverse this, spin this all the way down so that this spike sticks out. It's got a counter on here so it keeps it from moving. And then you can get all kinds of ridiculous angles off of a rock. I don't have an example of that. But there's been times where I'm in some weird place and I don't have a tripod with me because I was stupid and forgot it, or I just didn't have enough space on the motorcycle. And I used this guy. I was able to just sit it on the ground on a rock and be able to get the shot that I needed. Let's take this to the next step, okay? This is like a magnetic thing, so it pops right in there. And you have this little guy right here, which goes between 1/4-20 and what's the other size? 1/4-20 and the bigger size. So you can mount different ball heads or whatever it is that you want to do. So you have that size, and before I move on to some of the other things you can do with it, then there is this size, which is the Ultra. And the Ultra is basically the same thing, except that it is smaller, and this is a Swiss Arca setup. This is fine with an EOS R. I wouldn't go bigger than that. That could be a little bit tough to go bigger than that. But right there, that one's good. That's a great size right there for that. Now let me show you something that's pretty darn cool about this whole setup here. This goes even farther. So let's say you're in a scenario where it's like you have a pole, you have a tree, something like that. You can go ahead and use this strap on either one of these and strap this around a pole. So essentially you have this. Now you can turn this guy however you need to, and then you can turn it this way or this way, whatever makes sense for the shot. And you can hang it on a fence, whatever you want, at any height that you want. And you are good to go. This kind of can not really take the place of a tripod, but in a pinch you can do a lot with this thing that you can't do with anything else except like all these clamps and all this kind of stuff. There are a few options that come with that. And on this little one, they keep the little spikes, because it's smaller, they keep the spikes inside this little pouch. And you just do the same thing. So it is essentially the same, it's just smaller, and you have to do this separately. But outside of that, there it is. And they even give you this little carabiner so that you can like clip it to your bag or your side or whatever. I mean, I just love this. This Platypod comes in handy so many times. This thing is badass. I can't tell you enough. I'll probably take this one with me most of the time. I might keep this one with the EOS R, but I just like the added stability of this one. So that is the Platypod. Oh, let me tell you, there's more things to this. So they make these guys. I don't even know what the heck they call these. It's a 1/4-20, and you can take these and screw them into here. Okay. So you're like, oh, how cool is that, right? What the hell do you do with it? Well, if you're familiar with Lume Cube, it is a company that makes these small lights like this. And you can take the Lume Cube lights. I'm going to turn this off for a second. Whoops. And you can mount this thing right on here. So now you have a camera mounted. I don't want to take my Swiss Arca off of here right now. You have the camera mounted and you have a light, and you can angle it any way you want. You can also take another one of these and you unscrew this and it marries this, and it can be this high or as high as you want it. Or conversely, you can go ahead and put another one up here. You could put another light on it, or you could put a small microphone. This one might be a little big, but you could actually work that into it. You could put a microphone on there. You could actually do a miniature YouTube studio with this. And I have. This is such a cool little setup. And then you break this down. So let's say this is your little YouTube studio, or you can mount a mic on the camera or a lavalier receiver on here. And you can really do a lot just with this setup right there. It's pretty freaking amazing. Pretty darn cool. It'll drop into any of these bags that I showed you. As a matter of fact, I could put most of this in this little tech bag that I talked about by Peak Design. I could put the cubes in, bend these a little bit, and they'll fit in. The Platypod stuff. I could even take this off and put it in. Now you're even getting even more compact, and you drop it in. More stuff will fit in here too for days. Sometimes I throw my cell phone into one side because it's nice and padded, just for safety. But I mean, this thing just opens up. It's huge. So that is the sort of luggage carry portion of what I do for Legend Tripping. If you like this video, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and hit the little alarm so that you know when I upload a new video. That support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Take care of each other and keep rock alive.